Students and staff shot inside an Iowa high school. It's a tragically familiar story with a heartbreaking ending. Now it is up to police to find out why it happened. Plus, good news for Meijer M-Perks members, a major arrest involving someone hacking accounts and taking your points and rewards. And why cutting out more processed food from your diet could be good for your mental health. Hey there, Kim.
Hey, Karen, we finally got our sunshine, and now we're about to lose it as we do expect some weekend snow. We'll talk about it coming up.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon. Every hour we're learning new bits of information about an early morning shooting at a high school in Iowa. It happened as students returned to class for their first day following winter break. Kimberly Gill in the newsroom with what investigators have uncovered in just the last few hours. Kim?
Karen, good afternoon. Police are still being really tight-lipped about the extent of injuries, but we do know multiple people were hurt. A quick response from law enforcement helped to secure the scene before more tragedy could happen. The unnamed shooter opened fire about 7:30 this morning at Perry High School. The Dallas County Sheriff's Office arrived on scene within 7 minutes and quickly found that shooter. He had taken his own life, but not before shooting at least 2 students and an administrator.
It is absolutely a nightmare. This is absolutely horrible. One of the worst moments of my entire life.
School didn't start yet, luckily, so there was very few students and faculty in the building, which I think contributed to a good outcome in that sense.
The school will be closed tomorrow. However, counseling services will be available to staff and students at the city library. Today's shooting comes days before the Iowa caucuses, of course, which will kick off the 2024 Republican presidential primary process, which happens on January 15th. Karen.
All right, thank you, Kim. New at 4, a Westland mom is facing murder charges this afternoon after her newborn child is found dead. Police say the baby died at home in early December, shortly after 31-year-old Trisha Lampe gave birth. Investigators say no one ever called for medical attention. Lampe was arraigned today on multiple felony charges, including homicide and child abuse. She is due back in court on January 11th. Local police departments are investigating as multiple city and county buildings across Metro Detroit received some violent threats today. Detroit Police Department responded to a threat at the Lincoln Juvenile Hall of Justice. That happened earlier today. Detroit Police also responded to an apparent bomb threat at the Young Municipal Center. Bomb squads were at the scene. And Plymouth Police barricaded roads surrounding the Plymouth Courthouse due to the threat of an explosive in the building. No injuries have been reported. So if you are a Meijer M-Perks member, listen up. Today, Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel announcing a major arrest. It involves someone hacking accounts and then taking your points and rewards. The AG saying Nicholas Mui of Grand Haven is facing a number of computer and ID theft-related charges after it was discovered he allegedly hacked into a network, giving his access to M-Perks information. He then allegedly sold the information online, and consumers had no idea their rewards were vanishing.
This investigation discovered encrypted chats and foreign online markets where M-Perks account credentials were being offered for sale, advertised with the corresponding points contained within each account. These marketplaces were using cryptocurrency and digital currency platforms in order to facilitate the sales.
At 6 o'clock, consumer investigator Help Me Hank will share what M-Perks and Meijer customers should now do to protect their personal information. So if you're traveling for 2024, take a little extra time when dealing with the airport. DTW is about to begin a major construction project. Starting next week, that project will impact traffic on Dingle Drive near both the Evans and McNamara terminals. The project is happening in 2 phases. The first going through February 29th. It's kind of hard to see on this map, but phase 1 includes 1-lane closure on both the north and southbound side to give crews room to work in the median, repairing parts of the shoulder, also building crossovers. Then there's phase 2. And this is where things get a little complicated. This phase will begin in March. It continues through mid-2025. Ultimately, 6 lanes of traffic goes down to 3. So what is being done as part of this $85 million project? There's a long list, including road surfacing, lighting, and also some new overhead signage. Crews will also be doing a long of stormwater drainage work to avoid more situations like this from last August. You can see what a mess that was. So this construction project and improvements should prevent this from happening again. The Gordie Howe International Bridge opening is now being delayed. That's until fall of 2025. The Local 4 drone took a spin high above the construction site today to check out the progress. It's pretty impressive. Construction was originally expected to be completed in November of this year, with the bridge opening by the end of 2024, but that is not happening anymore. Workers now have a goal of September 2025. In the meantime, crews will connect the bridge deck over the Detroit River and install the last of the 216 stay cables. We've had this eye on this project since 2018, and if you want to see a time lapse of the construction, it's pretty cool to see how it's developed. Just head to the homepage at clickondetroit.com. Check it out. It's posted at the bottom of our article on this story. All right, time now for our first look at the forecast. Kim, I saw you over there talking to producers today, and you said the word snow.
I also said sun, though. I thought you were a glass half full kind of girl.
Okay, I am. Let's start with sun.
Can we just enjoy this for a moment, please?
I know, it's nice out there.
Yeah, we still... Hang on, let's just live in the moment. But you're right, we do have some snow to talk about for the weekend, but we'll talk about that later. Right now, it's cold, though. 26 in Howell, 26 also in Pontiac, 27 in Adrian, and 30 in downtown Detroit. Temperatures anywhere from the mid-20s to around freezing just about everywhere you go today, and it's chilly. We've got wind chills right now that make it feel like it is 18 in Pontiac, 17 in Ann Arbor, mid-20s downtown, and 30s the current wind chill in Mount Clemens. Tomorrow, lots of clouds around. There might be a break of the sun, but you'll be lucky to see it tomorrow. Maybe 2 or 3 degrees warmer than today with a high of 35, but it's the weekend when, even though we get temperatures that'll warm up, we're still going to have some snow to talk about, especially Saturday night into Sunday when those temps dip below freezing. We'll talk more about that coming up.
All right, thanks, Kim. It is a big day for car lovers. We now know the winners of the North American Car, Truck, and Utility Vehicle of the Year. The announcement happened at the M1 Concourse in Pontiac earlier today. The Toyota Prius, Ford Super Duty, and Kia EV9 took home top awards at the annual award show. Winners were determined by a final vote of 50 NACTOY jurors, which cast their ballots in December.
The Super Duty was a relatively clear-cut winner in its segment, I thought. I mean, it's the definition of a workhorse and a show horse. It does everything so well, and it's a backbone of the economy.
EVs are here, but there's still a lot of great gasoline-powered vehicles to buy as well, and hybrids are becoming hot again. Toyota, with the Prius, has had hybrids for years, and they've been preaching the value of it, but only in the last 6 months have other automakers saying, hey, wait a minute, maybe hybrids are a great bridge to electric vehicle.
This year's nominees for both car and utility vehicle awards were made up primarily of Japanese and Korean automakers, but Ford and GM dominated in the truck category. Eating healthier is a very popular New Year's resolution, but it can be kind of challenging to try to keep up with what you're supposed to do. So if you needed some extra motivation, we brought in Dr. Frank McGeorge with a little bit of research in terms of cutting out processed foods and how that actually helps your mental health, which I think is kind of interesting.
It is. You know, so the physical benefits, of course, of eating a healthy diet are very well established, but numerous studies have actually also found that eating better has benefits for our brain and our mental health as well. And cutting out ultra-processed foods, that is the place to start.
It's a New Year's change that could pay off in a much healthier you. Research continues to find ultra-processed foods like frozen meals and packaged snacks can be harmful to your health. Now, another study has discovered a possible link to depression.
This is no surprise. There is a connection between our mood and the foods that we eat. What we eat every day is a daily investment in how we feel.
Dr. Susan Albers is a psychologist at the Cleveland Clinic. She says ultra-processed foods trigger the release of dopamine into the brain, which makes you feel good. It's also why we tend to crave them. However, this latest study found participants who ate a lot of ultra-processed foods, particularly foods with artificial sweeteners, were at higher risk for developing depression. Researchers are trying to figure out exactly why, but note, it could have to do with how artificial sweeteners affect the brain. Albers says there are other factors to consider as well.
While there is a link between depression and ultra-processed foods, we can't say that there is a causal link. People who are depressed may reach for ultra-processed foods because they are comforting and convenient. When you are feeling depressed, you may not have the energy to shop, prepare, or cook food.
Now, Dr. Albers says if you want to cut back on ultra-processed foods, try swapping out packaged snacks for fruits, nuts, or maybe seeds. She also suggests reading labels before buying. If it has ingredients that you cannot pronounce, you should probably just take a pass on them.
We're not necessarily slamming particular products, but you are right. Like when you grab something like this, it seems like it's easy.
Yeah.
But you look at the list and you're like, yikes. And
Yeah,
these are
exactly.
much better options. Do you do this? Look at me putting you on the spot. You paused.
Well, I think, the key thing about this kind of thing is in order to be successful, you have to have convenience wrapped up into it. So the main thing there is making sure that you've prepackaged things in a way that, well, it's convenient. Yeah. So, this kind of thing might be a little bit of an effort to put together. But let's say that you had the grapes in a baggie. That would be a good thing if it was already ready for you to go ahead and eat. That way you're not wasting a lot of time, like gathering these things at the last minute.
Right. Like when I do my kids' lunches, I make a little lunch. I like a little fruit and little nuts for me. So then it's not like, I don't know.
That's exactly it. Well, and that's where convenience, if you can make healthy convenient, then it will be much easier to do. If healthy is a challenge every time you have to put it together,
You're gonna go
then
grab
it's not
something like
exactly.
this.
Then you're going for this.
I love these snacks. I'm going to take this. Thanks, Doc.
It's yours.
I didn't have lunch. All right. Thanks. All right.